Hello, everyone. Good evening. Good evening, Vishal sir.
Hello, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. Am I audible, visible, ma'am?
Yeah, you are visible and audible both. Welcome to our team.
Okay. Thank you so much,
Hello,
ma'am.
hello, guys.
Thank you so much for having me here.
First, I will introduce about me within a line, and then I will introduce about the Vishal sir. So, this is me. This is Meenakshi Chatterjee. I am a faculty and the senior mentor in the Vishnu IS Academy. And Vishal sir is our student, ex-students, and he is ranked of 439 in this year. And he will about to join for a IS, and he get a IS positions. So, hi Vishal sir, welcome. Okay, first, please share your experience within 1 to 2 lines. Then we will start this sessions. And everybody knows that we will going to talk about the ethics today. Yeah, how will you approach the ethics? How will you write the answer? Okay, how will you deal with it? Because there are so much of misconception about the paper four. So that's why we will going to talk about the ethics today. So, sir, please tell me about your experience first within a few lines.
So thank you so much, ma'am, for having me here. And hello, everyone. Very, very good evening. And so I have given three attempts in UPSC CSE. In the first attempt, I wasn't able to clear the prelim stage. In the second attempt, I wasn't able to clear the main stage. And in the third and my final attempt, I am getting my dream service, that is IAS. And I'll be here guiding you in the subject of ethics and ethics.
Okay, great. So, sir, how much you scored in the ethics this year?
Ma'am, I have scored 102 marks in the ethics paper.
102.
Two.
Okay, okay. And last year?
Ma'am, last year I had scored 98.
Okay, okay, okay. So, according to you, how ethics is important in our syllabus? How much importance ethics has?
Ma'am, ethics has a lot of importance while preparing for the mains stage, ma'am. First of all, ethics is the most denied subject. Okay, ma'am. So, ma'am, first of all, I have also grabbed some of the pointers so that I don't miss any of the points. So, मैम फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल जो एथिक्स जो हम लोग पढ़ते हैं ना वो हम लोग मोस्टली जो है अपने प्रीलिम्स एंड मेंस के बीच में पढ़ते हैं. So most of our study is between prelims and mains only. And before prelim stage, we only focus on major GS portion, that is polity, economy, geography, society, these kind of things. And ethics remained untouched. So it is very important that in the gap of prelims and mains, we focus slightly more on the ethics paper. And it has another reason for it, ma'am, because toppers have scored 140 plus marks in the ethics paper, and it has a huge scoring potential, as much as optional, I would say. Because in optional also, we score 140, 145 marks per paper, and ethics has the ability to give us that particular mark. And apart from it, ma'am, most of us know ethics. Even if our even if I say my mother to write an answer on ethics, she will also be able to write some of the other answer. But what will differentiate an aspirant answer from a layman's answer is the use of ethical keywords. For example, ma'am, I would like to substantiate this particular thing with an example because, ma'am, one of the questions that came in UPSC, CSE, something in the year of 2014, that what happiness mean to you. तो मैम ये एक ऐसा क्वेश्चन है जिसको हर कोई आंसर कर सकता है. मतलब लिटरली मैं अपने छोटे भाई से पूछा कि व्हाट डज हैप्पीनेस मीन टू यू, वो भी कुछ बता देगा कि टू प्ले विद टॉयज और टू हैव अ पिज्जा इन द डोमिनोज, और ये भी वो भी कुछ आंसर कुछ ना कुछ अपना पक्का से आंसर कर देगा. बट टू हैव एथिकल वर्डिंग्स इन आवर एथिकल आंसर्स इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. सिमिलरली मैम एक बार पेट्रियोटिज्म पूछा था, तो ये बहुत ही बेसिक क्वेश्चन है, बट इसके अंदर हमें क्वालिटी कंटेंट, एथिकल कंटेंट डालना इंपॉर्टेंट है. दैट्स वाई हमें एथिक्स का सिलेबस पता होना चाहिए जिसकी वजह से हम एथिकल कीवर्ड उसके अंदर डाल सके. हमें एथिक्स का सिलेबस लिटरली रटा होना चाहिए.
Okay, so thank you for your valuable comment. Acha, what are the resources you used during your preparation?
So, ma'am, the I had followed so many resources, ma'am, because I had given three attempts. The first resource I used was the book named as Lexicon. It is very famous book in the UPSC field. Everyone knows about it. And secondly, I that book was very basic. It was used for the development of understanding of every ethical keywords, but it is not sufficient for the examination, and it is not sufficient for scoring good marks in the ethics paper. So I value added a lot of content from various coaching materials. And apart from it, I also followed various toppers copy. The name of some toppers I would like to recommend also. The name of few toppers are Divya Mishra ma'am, Vishakha Yadav ma'am, Aditya Srivastav sir, Mridul Sivhare sir, and these are the few four toppers which I like the most, and Shruti Sharma ma'am as well. So these five toppers copy you can follow, and you can take the value addition point from it. But do not follow their notes blindly, because they have added only those stuffs in their notes which are which they feel are important to them. They are not the comprehensive notes. They might work from them. They might work from them, but it may not work for you. Work for you. So it is important that you make your own notes based on your understanding, based on your strengths and weaknesses, so that it may fetch better marks for you.
I was about to ask you that ki, because most of the students are telling me ki we are going to follow blindly in the toppers notes. You are also a topper and ranker, so you know. So they are not going to read the static books or a proper books. They are just jumped into not even a matlab their class notes also. They are just jumped into the toppers notes and revise and then write. Okay, but they are not scoring more than 80 or more than 70. So that's why ki it's blindly following toppers copy. But I was about to, thanks to cater that question as well. Okay. Secondly, you know ki this is a very we have a currently we only have a very limited 80 days between the prelims and the mains. It's not much now. So it's 68 days. So how anyone will approach ethics within short span of time, because this part is very scoring. So how they will approach?
तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल मैम, अब अकेले तो नहीं हो सकता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर हमें खुद से सेल्फ प्रिपेयर अगर करना था, तो हमें प्रीलिम से पहले तक प्रिपेयर करके रख लेना चाहिए था. बट क्योंकि अब टाइम कम है, एंड मोस्ट ऑफ एंड कुछ स्टूडेंट अभी भी ऐसे होंगे जिन्होंने एथिक्स अब तक छुआ भी नहीं होगा. सो उनके लिए बेस्ट स्ट्रैटेजी यही है. दैट्स व्हाई विष्णु सर हैज ब्रिंग अप दिस एथिक्स कोर्स, which is also a format, which is also in the format of crash course, and it is highly targeted towards the examination. तो मैम, सर का जो कोर्स का जो डिजाइन है वो बहुत ही टारगेटेड है. इट हैज लेक्चर्स जिसमें आप थ्योरी, कॉन्सेप्ट्स, ये सारी चीजें, एथिक्स की अंडरस्टैंडिंग डेवलप कर लोगे. एंड उसके बाद सर ने पीवाईक्यू सॉल्विंग सेशन भी लिखे रखे हैं, जिसके अंदर वो आंसर राइटिंग भी डिस्कस करेंगे. तो आप वहां पे समझ पाओगे कि कैसे जो भी कॉन्सेप्ट सर पढ़ा रहे हैं इन द क्लासेस, उसको आप अपने पीवाईक्यूज में आंसर राइटिंग के अंदर इनकलकेट कर पाओगे. सो इट इज अ वेरी गुड इनिशिएटिव बाय विष्णु सर, एंड यू कैन join him as as your ethics mentor, and you will be able to score good. His analytical skills and linking one particular keyword with another keyword and linking keywords to the current affair is very good. So you will definitely enjoy his lectures, and you will be good to go.
Thank you, Vishal. Thank you. Acha, I will ask a student ki they wanted to ask any question or not, and what kind of question they have. So, hello, student. Please ask questions to sir.
Hello.
Hello, you are audible.
Sir, regarding the starting ethics from beginning, sir, which book is refers to?
No, you can't refer books now, because we have very short span of time. You should have a mentor, and even if
Also,
you want to read books, I huh?
in next year we will appear at the UPSC exams. This year now.
Okay, so next you can read lexicon. I
Sir,
can tell
can't you
what I had
understand?
read. I can tell what I had read. I had read lexicon, and then followed it with various coaching materials. For example, we know the name of different coaching institutes. I am not going to take names. So you can refer to the coaching materials. You can value add them. Value added materials of various coaching institutes are there. So you can value add in them. Then you can follow some of the toppers which I have already mentioned. The name of toppers. You can follow their notes to value add. They have used some examples, some diagrams, some quotes, and various other value added materials which you can include in your notes. You can directly copy paste in your notes, and then you can use it in your answer writing. So if you follow this particular strategy, you will be sorted for the year 2026. Rajesh, any other doubt? Hello,
Anyone?
Rajesh.
Hello, Arvind. You have any doubts?
Sir,
Yes, yes.
voice is not clear, sir.
Voices? I think no one have any doubts, ma'am. We
Okay,
can proceed.
okay. Sir, acha, clear, ma'am. Okay. Secondly, I wanted to ask, sir, ki because we have so many thinkers' name like Plato, Aristotle, like just we are reading in our optional as well. So, in the so much of the scholars' name in the ethics, and is they are really important. Matlab, everyone should recall every thinker's name, and matlab, how much its relevance.
Ma'am, I have given two mains in the UPSC CSC 20, like in the year 2023 and in the year 2024. And I have analyzed past 11 years of paper, right from the 2013 to the year 2024. And I haven't seen any question based on what are the principles of Socrates or what are the ethical principles given by Plato. So there are no direct questions involved. But we should know the basics of basic two, three teaching of each scholar so that we can sprinkle it in our answers so as to value add them. For example, ma'am, there are keywords given by different scholars like eudaimonia, summum bonum, greater good for greatest good for greatest number of people, uh, means over ends. So these are the keywords that we should know that who have given it. Veil of ignorance. So these keywords using it in our answer give a very formal and ethical touch to our answer, and it will fetch us very good marks. So knowing these
Rajesh, kindly
particular
mute yourself. Rajesh? Thank you. Thank you. Please continue, sir.
So knowing these particular keywords and using it sparingly throughout our paper will give us marks, but do not delve into so much detail that you spend 20 days reading about the scholars only. That will not help.
Great, sir. Well, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. One more very important question is how student will value atmosphere. For example, I am the new student. I just started my studying. Okay, and मुझे लेक्सिकन समझ में नहीं आया. I don't understand lexicon. तो उसके बाद मैं क्या करूं? मतलब मुझे next step क्या करना चाहिए?
Ma'am, if you are not able to study or understand from the lexicon, you should definitely follow a mentor. There is no requirement that you should uh, stress your brain too much understanding the lexicon because, ma'am, it is very complex, complexly written, and you should follow a mentor. But if you ask me about the value addition part, the value addition in the ethics subject has various layers. For example, ma'am, we can use quotes to start with. For example, ma'am, if we have a question regarding dream, we use the quote, "What you sow, so shall you reap." तो जो आप जैसा बोगे वैसा आप पाओगे, तो जैसा आपके मीन्स होंगे वैसे ही आपके एंड्स होंगे। तो इस तरह के कोट्स से हम इंट्रोड्यूस कर सकते हैं अपने आंसर को। उसके अलावा मैम डायग्राम्स होते हैं बहुत सारे। फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैम, जब हम कंपैशनेट कॉर्पोरेट की बात करते हैं या फिर कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस की बात करते हैं, तो हम 3 पीस के बारे में पढ़ते हैं, पीपल, प्लैनेट एंड प्रॉफिट। तो उसको हम डायग्राम के थ्रू शो कर सकते हैं। 3 वेन डायग्राम्स हम बना सकते हैं, एक में पीपल लिख देंगे, एक में प्लैनेट लिख देंगे, एक में प्रॉफिट लिख देंगे, एंड जो बीच में शेडेड पोर्शन है उसको हम लिख सकते हैं दिस इज कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस। या फिर हम इसको एक ट्राइंगल बना सकते हैं। ट्राइंगल के 3 लाइक कॉर्नर्स पे हम लोग तीनों पीपल, प्लैनेट एंड प्रॉफिट, ऐसे 3 कॉर्नर्स पे हम इसको लिख सकते हैं। तो लाइक वी कैन यूज आवर वेरियस क्रिएटिविटी टू मेकिंग डायग्राम। फॉर एग्जाम्पल एक और डायग्राम होता है मैम, जैसे कभी कभी हम दो वैल्यूज के बीच में कंफ्लिक्ट हो रहा होता है जिसको हम लोग एथिकल डिलेमास बोलते हैं। तो मैम फॉर एग्जांपल एक डिलेमा होता है कंपैशन वर्सेस ऑब्जेक्टिविटी का। तो अगर हमें इन दोनों को एक डायग्रामेटिकली फॉर्मेट में अगर लगाना है तो हम लोग एक लाइक बैलेंस बना सकते हैं, एक तराजू टाइप का, जिसमें हम लोग एक तरफ कंपैशन लिख दें, एक तरफ ऑब्जेक्टिविटी लिख दें, एंड दोनों के बीच का बैलेंस दिखा दें, विच वी विल बी कॉलिंग द गुड गवर्नेंस। तो इस तरीके का मैम अगर हम डायग्राम बनाते हैं तो उससे हमारे मार्क्स में पक्का 1 या 2 मार्क्स एक्स्ट्रा हमें मिलेंगे। जहां पे हमें 3 मिलने चाहिए थे वहां पे 4 मिल जाएंगे, जहां पे 4 मिलने चाहिए थे वहां पे 4.5 मिल जाएंगे। तो मैम यही लास्ट में फर्क पड़ता है 0.5 मार्क्स का, जो लास्ट में बहुत बड़ा बन जाता है। उसके अलावा मैम जो कीवर्ड्स है, जैसा कि मैंने ये बताया, जो वेरियस थिंकर्स से हम पढ़ते हैं उनको हम लोग पार्शियली पार्शियली थोड़ा थोड़ा अगर हम लोग यूज करते जाते हैं हर आंसर के अंदर, बहुत ज्यादा भी नहीं, ताकि उसको एकदम ऑप्शनल का आंसर नहीं बना देना है कि बिल्कुल ऑप्शनल का एकदम थियोरेटिकल आंसर लग रहा है, नहीं, उसको प्रैक्टिकल आंसर रखना है। बट उसके अंदर थोड़े थोड़े हम लोग को स्कॉलर्स के नेम वगैरह यूज करते चलना है, ताकि हमारा जो आंसर है वो बेटर रह सके दूसरों के कंपैरिजन में। तो मैम ये कुछ चीजें हैं जो मुझे लगता है कि एथिक्स के अंदर अगर हम लोग यूज करें तो बेटर आंसर हम लोग लिख सकते हैं वैल्यू एडिशन के फॉर्मेट।
एंड सेकेंडली इज कि अगर हम लोग रिवीजन की बात करें तो क्विक रिवीजन, तो किस तरह से क्विक रिवीजन करना चाहिए और क्विक रिवीजन कितनी बार करना चाहिए कि दैट विल बी प्रोडक्टिव इन आवर एग्जाम?
तो मैम मेरे अकॉर्डिंग रिवीजन जो है हमें 3 बार करके ही जाना चाहिए एग्जाम में जाने से पहले। तो मैम रिवीजन का भी फॉर्मेट होता है, हर बार हम लोग बस नोट्स को पढ़ने को रिवीजन नहीं कर सकते। फॉर एग्जांपल मैम, फर्स्ट ऑफ जो पहली बार जो हमारा फर्स्ट रीडिंग है, मान लीजिए हमने वो लेक्चर के थ्रू किया, विष्णु सर टॉट एथिक्स एंड वी लर्न फ्रॉम हिम एंड वी लिसन टू द लेक्चर एंड देन टेक नोट्स, दैट वाज द फर्स्ट रीडिंग। Second reading can be the answer writing part. We have used the content taught by Vishnu sir and we have utilized it to write the previous year questions that have come in the examination in the previous year. So that is the second round of. Okay, ma'am.
Good to
So
hmm.
uh, I was talking about the ma'am revision part, right?
Revision.
So
Revision, yeah.
yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, first round, I will repeat this part. So, first round of revision will be start teaching the ethics in the class, and the students will be learning it. That will be the first round of like studying or revision. That will we will be getting the knowledge from the Vishnu sir, and the second round of revision will be writing it in the PYQ. So we will be actively recalling what sir had taught, and we will be using it in the answer writing that we'll be doing for the previous year question. And third revision will be, ma'am, to take out the short notes out of what Vishnu sir had taught, or what you have included all the validation part from the various toppers, and you make a short notes out of it, so that you can revise it after GS3 paper, which you will be getting 2 hours in the gap of GS3 and GS4, that you can revise in that gap. So that will be your fourth iteration of revision. So these four revisions, I think, will be sufficient, so that you can get a very good score.
Thank you. And now comes to the point. Main question is how much test series has the impact on the ethics paper?
Ma'am, writing test is very important in the ethics paper, because ma'am, ethics paper is different from various other GS paper. This is not the paper where we have to write 10 points in a 10 marker and 20 points in a 20 marker. This is not the paper. This is a very analytical paper. Here we have to use ethical keywords. Here we have to analyze things from the ethical point of view. Even if the question is from GS2, for example, even if the question is linking to the citizen charter or the good governance part, we cannot write a GS2 based answer there. We have to use ethical wordings. We have to link ethics into that particular question. And from last year paper, if we see, there are various current affairs questions. For example, ma'am, the new criminal laws and ethics that has been asked in the previous year question, and apart from it, artificial intelligence and ethics, that is also asked. So now we have to link these particular things in the real time, and that will only come if we practice a good amount of tests. So, ma'am, I think three tests. Ideally, we should give three tests in the gap of prelims and mains, but two is mandatory. If the time permits, if the time is not permitting you, then you should at least write two tests.
Thank you, sir. And last year, how many tests you wrote
Ma'am,
from?
I had written, ma'am, because my optional was mechanical engineering, ma'am. So I was not getting time from the optional subject, and that's why I was able to write just two tests. And that's why, ma'am, I think that my marks went a little on the lower side, and I think that that was the culprit. If I had written two more tests, I think I would have scored 15, 16 marks higher than what I had scored this year.
And what is the most common mistakes students are doing during writing test for the ethics exam?
Ma'am, there are few mistakes that I would like to highlight. First is they overemphasize, ma'am, on the case study part. They like devote too much time while writing the case study, and they think that since each case study is of 20 marks, so we write case studies better, we will get better marks. But I would like to tell you that if you have to score very good marks, you have to balance both section A as well as case study portion. So you have to focus on the section A as well. But in the section A, ma'am, one another mistake that people do is they just write examples in the section A wala part, rather than writing argument and then substantiating with an example. They think that example is the argument in itself, which is not correct, which is not the correct format. I think you have to give key arguments. You have to justify yourself in an argumentative manner, and then you should substantiate with it with examples, quotes, that should act like a value addition and not the main content, main demand in itself. That you should keep in mind. Third, ma'am, the time management issue. Because, ma'am, ethics is the lengthiest of all the papers, and following a very strict timelines in every question is very, very important, so as to complete the paper in due time. So, ma'am, these are the three mistakes I think people are doing. And if they don't do this mistake, they will be able to score good.
Don't you think static part A will score more than the case studies part?
Ma'am,
Because it's
definitely,
quite
as we
directly because questions are quite matlab, direct from the previous year question as well as the.
Ma'am, I think both of the parts have equal scoring opportunity. As UPSC do not release what kind of scores they give in section A and what kind of scores they give in section B. We have to ready with both the sections. We have to prioritize both the sections equally, and then we should expect that our marks that comes out to be is optimal.
And most important कि how मतलब how they will manage their time in the examination, or because already you wrote two mains, okay, and you cleared in your third attempt, and that's a really मतलब appreciable. So how they will manage time in their, because you know कि GS 1 2 3 pattern is different and GS 4 is pattern is different, completely different. So how they will manage the time?
First of all, ma'am, a mental preparation is required because, ma'am, after writing essay GS1, GS2, GS3, our mind gets tired, our body gets tired, and we have to come in a zone where we have to write the most lengthiest of all the papers. And yes, Rajesh, you can. I will give you opportunity to ask. Just let me finish. And then, ma'am, we have to write GS4 papers. So a mental preparation is required that I will going to I that affirmations will be required, ma'am, that I am going to complete this particular paper in the best of the quality that I can write. First is that, ma'am. Second, ma'am, the strategy that I follow is to divide each and every question in equal timestamps. For example, ma'am, I strictly follow the timelines of 7 minutes for the section A, every question of section A, and 15 minutes for every question of section B. And that timeline helps me to keep a track of my time, and it helps me to complete the paper. Thirdly, ma'am, I start with section A because, ma'am, I feel that section B case study section that I can do on a template basis. For example, ma'am, if some case study comes on the private sector, so, ma'am, there are some template of the private sector case studies, and that template I can follow in any particular case study that comes for private sector, and I will be able to answer that case study easily. Case studies, ma'am, are easy to answer and they require our less mental analysis. So, ma'am, I think in the pressure situation, when the time is less, we can attempt case study wala section. And when the time is more, that is in the initial section, we have to attempt section A so that our mind is fresh and we can write quality content over in the section A, which is often very, very neglected section, ma'am, because most of the students attempt section B first, case studies first, and then they come to section A and they haphazard write anything and everything they know, even if it is relevant to the demand of the question or not. So, ma'am, that will not help. I think section A should be attempted first, then section B, and restricting yourself to the timelines will help you to complete the paper.
Thank you, Vishal. Rajesh, now you can ask the question. Please, you can ask.
Sir, how to strip out the case studies? Sir? There are number of lot of case studies regarding any every topic. Then we strip out, or if, for example, any topic we taken, like how many case studies we have to strip out in it, sir, for in every topic.
Look, Rajesh, there is no specific number to answer your question because the more you practice, the more you become pro in it. But I can give you a number where you can be selection ready, right? So if you practice more, definitely you are going to score more. So the main constraint over here is not the resource, is not the number of case studies. The main constraint over here is the time that we have to prepare the ethics paper, right? So we have to like classify the case. So I am telling you how to write a case study, right? So we have to classify the case studies, like whether it is a public sector case study, whether it is a private sector case study, whether it is case study based on environment. So we have to use the related keywords regarding it. For example, when we have private sector case study, for example, a private medical firm is building a vaccine and it has various ethical dilemmas with regards to it. So there we have to mention about the profitability because private sector works on the profitability. Secondly, we have to use the keyword of corporate governance. We have to use the keyword of compassionate capitalism. In the case studies which involves environmental issues, we have to use the keyword like ecocentrism. We have to use keywords like sustainable development, rights of animals. So these are the keywords, matlab, like issue specific keywords you should use. And apart from it, the more you practice, the more it is going to help you, the more articulation skills you will develop, and the better you will be able to write.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you. Any other question from the student?
I would like to add one thing, ma'am, that getting an opportunity to write the mails is the dream of 10 lakh people. If you are getting a chance to write the mails, make sure that you are making it count because no, there is no guarantee that you are going to clear the prelim stage in the next attempt, because I have seen many students who are scoring 90, 95 marks and were clearing CSAT, and they are not finding their names in the prelims result list. And so, if you are getting this particular chance, you should focus heavily on the mains. You should dedicate your whole heart, your everything, your mind, body, everything into this particular preparation. The coming 70 days are very, very crucial for you. It is going to decide your next 35 years. So give your best, be at your best, and deliver everything you have read till now to the best of your abilities in the main stage. If you score 800 plus marks in the mains, you are definitely going to get a name in the final list, in the final PDF. The service will depend definitely on the interview score, but you will definitely land somewhere into the group A services, that I can assure you of. And ethics, essay, and optional. These are the three pillars that are going to take you ahead in this mains journey. So special attention to them. Do not leave the remaining subjects. Focus on GS 1 to 3 as well, but slightly higher focus towards the essay, GS 4, and optional papers. With that, I would like to conclude my today's.
And what you wanted to say about your preparation days with Vishnu sir? How was your experience? Just share that.
Ma'am, the preparation days with Vishnu sir was extremely memorable. I understood ethics from him. I like the interest in the ethics came from him, because ma'am, when I was reading lexicon, it was like very boring stuff. There were no particular interlinkages into it. I thought that I was just reading a religious scripture, and which I do not find any interest into it. So ma'am, the interest is very, very important when you are reading a subject. And if we get a mentor that develops the interest into the subject itself becomes easy to understand and easy to comprehend. So that's I have a lot of respect for Vishnu sir, and I hope that our relations keeps on growing year by year.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. It's a very valuable word. Thank you. And you are going to join our program as a mentor. Okay, तो welcome to our family, welcome to the team. Okay, क्योंकि
Thank you so much,
स्टूडेंट
ma'am.
मतलब हमारे जो एथिक्स एंड ऐसे के प्रोग्राम है उसमें विशाल सर आप लोगों को मेंटर करने वाले हैं वन ऑन वन. तो वेलकम विशाल, रियली वेलकम टू दैट. वी आर सो ग्लैड टू हैव
Thank
यू.
you so much.
ओके, थैंक यू. ओके, तो फिर रैप अप करते हैं, फिर जल्दी एक और जूम मीटिंग में मिलेंगे, सारे बच्चों से फिर से बात करेंगे. ओके, थैंक यू
Right.
एवरीवन, थैंक
Okay.
यू विशाल सर.
Thank you so
ओके.
much.